Well, how's it going, everybody? My wife has been selling these Magnalite pots for a while now. We would take a pot that looks a little bit used, I'd say, and cleaning them up, putting a new finish on them, and then she's been selling them. I've been having a lot of people asking her constantly, how do you get such a shine on those pots? So today I'm going to answer that. I'm going to show everybody my process for shining these pots up. So what you're going to need first, you're going to need some wet sandpaper. I usually start with a 400 or 500 grit, and then I go to 1,000 grit to clean it up. But depending on what kind of shape the pot's in, I think today we can probably just take the 1,000 grit and go over it. But it's got to be a wet sandpaper because we're going to be using the water. And if at all possible, take the handles off. Makes it a whole lot easier. I got the knob off the lid, but this is being stubborn, so it's going to stay on. It'll just take us a little longer to get the results we want. But anyway, I'll show you my process. Alright. Notice we're outside. That way we're not making a mess in the house. Sometimes I'll do this in the sink. I just run the water real slow over it while I'm sanding it. But I've decided I just got me a big old bucket, filled it up with water, and then I'll do all my sanding out here on the back porch. But anyway, we're going to start. Like I say, I'm going to use 1,000 grit. It should clean it up pretty good because it's not in too bad a shape. Anyway, what we need to do, we need to get our sandpaper. Get our sandpaper good and wet. Alright. Then we're just going to start sanding on it. Trying to get this old finish off. You see it? See, there looks like it's coming off pretty good.
I'm looking in to get you some more sandpaper.
Okay. Yeah, we just want to go around it, get this old finish off. So it's going to be. We won't have this old dark color, but it'll just look kind of a gray color once we get it. It won't have a shine to it, but we're going to put that back on after we get it all sanded. Hey Dixie, there's my dog. Anyway, so you got to keep that paper wet. It might take you a little while, depending on, like I say, depending on how much is built up on the finish. Some take longer than others. Like some of them, I can almost shine them up without doing this sanding. What I do, I'm using a buffer to put my finish back on them. But we'll see that in just a little bit. Anyway, that's how we start. You take the old finish off. Like I say, if it's got too much on it, you can start with maybe a 500 grit, get it all off, and then come back with 1,000 grit. That way, any little old scratches that the 500 put in there, you can usually get back out with 1,000. And if you want to, you can go on down to 2,000 grit. Just depends on how much sanding you want to do on it. course, the more sanding you do, the more of these flaws you can usually get out of it. Of course, I don't try to take the flaws out of it. It's an old pot, and you don't want it to look like a brand new pot. Of course, you don't want it to look all beat up either, but I leave the little dings and light scratches in it. But once it's polished, you don't see them. I mean, unless you really stare and look for them, then you'll find them. But I mean, it's an old pot, like this one here. This is a GHC, so it's at least 50 years old. It's probably older than that, this one, but the GHC. Well, let's see, GHC 96 is when GHC quit making them. Magnalite made them up until 1969. That's when GHC started making the Magnalites. And of course, there's other companies that make them now, because I believe it was 96 or 97 is when GHC quit production of them. Here you see, we're taking this old finish off. And you don't want to just constantly go in one direction on it when you're sanding, because then you're going to just put grooves in it. But you know, you want to move around. It's kind of warm out here today. Should have done this early this morning, but we had things to do. Get much of this old finish off as we can. Like I say, it's got to be wet sandpaper, because you got to use that water, because regular sandpaper, all you're going to do is put scratches all in your lid or in your pot. Alright, let's see. Yeah, it's got some little bitty nicks and bumps in this lid, so I think something done happened up the road there. Heard a lot of sirens and all going by earlier. And now I see the life flight helicopter flying over, fixing to land at the hospital right across there. So, hope everything's okay, or everybody will be okay. Alright, that's looking pretty good, if I may say so myself. All right. What you think? See, compared to that, I think it looks pretty good. All right, what we'll do next, we'll take it inside and wash it with some dishwashing soap, just to make sure we got all the grime off of it from sanding. And then we're going to take it out to the polisher. It's out there in my little workshop, so it's going to be really hot out there. Yeah. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I think it'll work good. Okay, now for the bottom. Of course, I'm not going to bore you and just sit there and watch me do the sand the bottom, but anyway, we're going to start on the bottom next. Then we're going to go put the finish back on them. All right. Okay, here's our pot. It's been sanded and it's ready to be buffed. Got the finish off of it. Of course, not the inside. We're not doing the inside, just the outside. But you see, it's just old flat silver. No reflection on it at all. But we're going to put some shine to it. And this is what we're going to use. It's a buffing machine. Of course, this is a cheap one. It's come from Harbor Freight. I didn't want to spend a lot of money until I learned exactly what I was doing. And of course, I'm still learning. So anyway, we've got two wheels. This is a sewn wheel. You can see that it's sewn close together. It makes it stiff. It's stiff. That's the wheel we'll start with, and we'll use a triple-E, I believe. Triple-E. Yeah. Triple-E will be what we'll start it with. It's a buffing compound. It's a brown color. Then we'll move to the other wheel. This is a loose wheel. It's not sewn. See, it's all loose pieces of cloth. Both of them are cloth, but that one's sewn so that it'll do the I don't know if you'd say cutting, or it'll be doing the hard stuff, getting the main shine to it. Then we'll come to this wheel where we'll use a white rouge buffing compound. It'll go on this wheel, and it doesn't take much at all, believe me. I'm found out quick. Anyway, that's what we're going to use to put our shine back on it. So let's get started. Okay, let's get started and see what happens. First we take a little of the triple-E. Barely want to put a little bit on that wheel. And then we'll start polishing. See, it's already getting a shine on it. Just a little more on it. There we go. Anyway, that's the first step. Look it over a little bit. More right here. Yeah, that's better. That's better. All right. Go around it once real quick. Let me tell you, it does get hot, the lid. It's real warm. Make sure you're wearing gloves, although these are rubber gloves, so they're not doing a lot of help. All right, that's the first step. You can see that. Next, I'll take a paper towel. Got these blue shop rags, and I'll kind of wipe over it. And if there's any excess of the compound on there, I'll get it off before we move on to the second wheel. Okay. All right. Now we're going to move to the loose wheel with the white bruise compound. And it's going to put the final shine on the top. Like I say, it don't take much. I'll do the same thing again. You can tell with a camera, look up. Anyway, this is the final finish. This is the previous. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, there it is. Now we'll take it inside and we'll wash it again with regular dish soap. Get the little, call it kind of tacky feeling, but we'll wash it, put the knob back on it, and then you'll see the final product. Alright, here she is. Here's our finished product. Got a real nice shine on it. Don't look brand new, but it looks almost new. You still got your little dings in it, but you hardly notice them at all. Anyway, that's how I polish pots and make them look new. Thanks for watching.